What is going on, everybody? I'm Shandelin Anderson, a realtor here in the West Valley of Phoenix. And if you're thinking about moving to Arizona in 2026 and nobody has told you to seriously look at Buckeye, I think they're honestly doing you a huge disservice. Because right now, while everybody is obsessing over Scottsdale and the East Valley, smart buyers are quietly moving west. And in this video, I'm going to explain exactly why Buckeye may be one of the biggest opportunities in the entire Phoenix metro area. We're here to talk about affordability, future growth, the TSMC impact, commute realities, master plan communities like Verrado, and the things that most relocation videos completely leave out. And I'll be honest with you, Buckeye is not perfect. But if you're a military buyer, a first-time home buyer, or a relocating family that wants to get the most value for your money in Arizona, then Buckeye deserves to be on your radar. And if you're thinking about moving to Arizona, make sure that you hit the subscribe button because this channel is all about giving you honest truth about what it's really like living here in the West Valley. There's no sugar-coated version, no Instagram version, just the real version. And I'll tell you right now, one of the biggest mistakes that people make when moving to Phoenix is they only look in the West Valley. Everybody starts talking about Scottsdale and everybody's talking about Gilbert and Chandler. Meanwhile, the West Valley has been quietly transforming and Buckeye is right in the center of it. So now let's talk about why Buckeye is suddenly exploding because it's not random. Developers and builders and investors and businesses are pouring money into the West Valley for a reason. It's the land, the space, the expansion opportunities, and affordability. This combination doesn't exist in any of the major metro areas. Buckeye still has room to grow. And because of that, you're seeing huge master planned communities and shopping developments and road expansions and schools and restaurants and infrastructure happening everywhere. Then to top it off, you have the TSMC effect. TSMC coming to Phoenix, the Phoenix area was completely a game changer. And it has changed the trajectory of the metro. And what many buyers don't realize is that growth never stays isolated. Once jobs start moving into a metro area, housing demands spread outward. That's exactly what's happening with Buckeye. People are getting priced out of parts of Phoenix, and they're starting to realize that they can get far more home for their money in the West Valley. So let's talk about what you actually get for your money. This is where Buckeye really gets interesting because if you're coming from California or Washington or Colorado, Texas, or even parts of the East Coast, the real value can be shocking. Now, prices have definitely risen, and this is not the same Buckeye as 2018, but compared to many parts of Phoenix, you can still get a newer home with larger lot and modern amenities and at a significantly lower price point. And this matters especially for first-time home buyers because a lot of first-time home buyers are currently stuck in this weird middle zone. They make too much money for assistance programs, but not enough money to comfortably buy in the East Valley. And that's where the West Valley starts making sense. You may be able to afford a newer home, more square footage, a safer feeling community, a garage, community amenities, and overall less stress financially instead of stretching yourself thin just to say that you live in Scottsdale. And honestly, a lot of those people are starting to realize that prestige factor isn't worth being house poor. So let's talk about Verrado. Verrado is a great area because if you've never seen Verrado before, it surprises a lot of people because it's part of Buckeye. People think Buckeye is just desert. And then they drive into Verrado, and then they suddenly feel like it's an entirely different world. There's tree-lined streets and community events, walkability, high walkability scores, coffee shops, parks, trails, mountain views, golf, master planned neighborhoods. It has a lifestyle feel to it. And that's important because buyers today aren't just buying homes anymore. They're buying environment, especially relocation buyers. People want lifestyle. They want convenience and safety and newer construction and family-oriented areas and a community feel. And Verrado checks a lot of these boxes. Now, is it cheap? Absolutely not. but compared to what similar communities cost in other states or parts of Phoenix, many buyers still feel like they're getting a significantly better deal and more value. Let's talk about the commute. Now here's where I'm going to give you the honest truth. The commute can absolutely become a factor. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend that traffic doesn't exist, because Phoenix traffic has changed dramatically, especially as more people have continued to move here. So if you work downtown every single day, you need to realistically think about your commute. But here's what's interesting. Remote work has changed everything. Hybrid schedules have changed everything. And many buyers are now willing to trade a longer commute for a larger home, a safer neighborhood feel, better affordability, more space, and a newer community. And the trade-off is becoming extremely common. And honestly, many people who move here end up saying the same thing. I wish I had looked for something in the West Valley sooner. So, why you should actually consider living in Buckeye? Let me tell you who I think Buckeye fits most. First-time homebuyers, military families, relocating families, people wanting newer construction, people wanting more home for the money, people tired of overpriced markets, and buyers who are thinking long-term, especially buyers who understand growth, because growth creates opportunity. And the West Valley is still early in its evolution compared to some other areas. Now, I also want to talk to you about what people don't like, because no city is perfect. Some people feel like Buckeye is way too far out, and some people want more nightlife, and some people don't like the desert expansion areas. Some people prefer established neighborhoods, and honestly, if you need that constant entertainment and urban energy, you may prefer other parts of Phoenix. But if your priorities are value, future growth, newer communities, family lifestyles and affordability, and long-term upside, Buckeye becomes very, very hard to ignore. So if you're thinking about moving to Arizona in 2026, don't make this mistake of only looking in the obvious areas, because the West Valley is changing fast, and Buckeye may end up being one of the smartest moves that you could make. If you want a free relocation guide, DM me the words West Valley, and I'll send you the best neighborhoods, commute breakdowns, pricing info, hidden costs, and the areas I'd personally look if I was moving here today. And if you found this video helpful, make sure you subscribe, because we've got a lot more videos coming about moving to the Phoenix area and living in Arizona, and the truth about the West Valley. Shandelin, your neighborhood realtor. Talk to you later.